Club, number 979-269, the best Toastmasters club in the world. So you are in the right place on this Monday evening. And I would love if some of you could come off mute and tell us what brought you here today. If you would like to, of course. I see you, Mr. Conway. You coming off mute?
Oh, yes, ma'am. How you doing? Hi, everybody. My name is Jeremiah Conway. I'm a rising junior at Morgan State University, electrical engineering major, and I'm here to support Dr. Reeves. She invited me out, so.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Jeremiah. I know you're going to be in for a treat. Dr. Reeves never disappoints. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Is there anyone else that wants to come off mute? Introduce yourself. Tell us what brought you here.
Good evening. Hi, I was here last week. I had so much fun. I thought I'd come back. I haven't quite made my way to being a member yet, but I will. But I wanted to come back and visit because I had such a great time last week. So thank you.
I'm so happy that you returned. So I'm so happy to have you. We are so happy to have you. All right, and I'm not going to belabor these speeches any longer. I am Natasha Brown, your president and your Toastmaster of the evening, and I just want to welcome you all. We have some phenomenal speeches that have been prepared for you and table topics where we all have an opportunity to do some impromptu speaking. So I hope everyone decides to raise their hand when it is time. Here at the Toastmasters Club, we provide a safe and loving environment for you all to grow in communication and leadership skills. So if you're interested in being a speaker professionally, or if you just want to be more confident in your speech from day to day, you are in the right place. And we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pass our meeting over. I'm going to introduce our first speaker of the evening, who is Dr. Kimberly Reeves.
No, you got to introduce the roles.
The helpers.
The helpers first.
I'm so excited about these speeches. Like, I'm jumping straight to it.
And the word of the day and all that.
Thank you so much. I was jumping straight to it. I'm so excited. So I want to introduce our helpers and our theme for today. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. We are in vacation vibe over here. I am a teacher. This is my second year. This is my second to last day of the school year. All right, so that is something good for me, that Wednesday morning I get to wake up whenever I would like to and enjoy my day, however God sees fit. So I am excited about that. I feel my energy rising as I speak, and I would love for you all to join in and tell us something good. Starting with our grammarian for this evening, who is Mrs. Angela Hamlin.
Hello, Toastmaster, future Toastmaster, distinguished guests. I am the Art Calendar grammarian. My role is to actually listen for some of our filler words that we use when we speak, such as and so, and among others. There are crush words and filler words, and we want to eliminate them as much as possible. As the grammarian, I'm looking for us to use the quality of the English language. We want to use that properly. So some of the language that we would use professionally, we want to make sure we do that in our speeches. Today, as you speak, we do have the word of today, and that's the word titanic. Titanic. It means the world has. It means having great magnitude, force, or power. In the sentences, the world has witnessed a titanic struggle between two visions of the future. When you hear that word used, please, let's acknowledge that the word is being used of the day by knocking, the physical knock here, or in the chat, you can type the word knock, knock. We want to expand our vocabulary, and that's the purpose of the word of the day. Thank you for your time, and back to Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you so much for letting us know what you will be doing this evening and just reminding me to just take that pause. All right. Next, I want to introduce our timer of the evening, Mr. Olio Samuel.
Hey everyone, I'm your timer for the evening. All right, I'll be displaying green, red, and yellow for the backgrounds. Our first speaker, I think, is getting 5 to 7 minutes. The second is 7 to 10 minutes. So at 5 minutes, you'll see a green. At 6 minutes, you'll see a yellow. At 7 minutes, you'll see the red, in which you have 30 seconds after that to finish your speech. And for the next speech, at 7 minutes, you'll see the green. At 9, you'll see the yellow. And at 10, you'll see the red, in which you have 30 seconds in which to finish your speech. And give me a moment, I'm about to set that up right now.
I'm unable to pin you, Olio.
This will be where you pin me at. I'm just switching devices real quick, so phone is dying. So just give me a minute real quick, but pin this version of me right here.
All right, thank you. Wait, which version? I just want to make sure. Can you just rename it timer, and that way we can all know which one to pin? That'll help. All right, so thank you so much. Did any one of you want to tell us something good? Angela, Olio, did anybody want to tell us something good?
I always just be grateful for the day. Today I had not only a good day, but a great day, and I'm grateful.
Yes, gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude. Let's continue. All right, so we have now the opportunity that we have been waiting for. I have prepared speeches. Our first speaker of this evening is Dr. Kimberly Reeves. Dr. Kimberly Reeves is a free-spirited, fearless woman of candor. She has committed close to 9 years of her life to research in her academic career. As a researcher, one of her greatest pet peeves is when people make assumptions without understanding or investigation. Dr. Reeves will speak to you today about the correlation between making assumptions and character assassination. Speech title, All Based on an Assumption. Speech duration, 7 to 10 minutes. Dr. Reeves.
This connection is unstable. You want to put somebody before me, and I'll try to dial on from my There was an both have unstable connections. Well, I'll try. If I get cut off, then
He sat in the meadow just shaking his fist at some boys who were down by the creek. Their feet in the water, their hands on their marbles and playthings, and at 4:30 there came a young lady. She looked like a pretty young creature. She sat on the She pulled up her dress and she showed them her ruffles and laces and white fluffy duck. She said she was learning a new way to bring up her children so they would not spit. The boys in the barnyard were shoveling refuse and litter from yesterday's hut, while the girl in the meadow
all based on assumption. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Dear African American people, my name is Wei Cheng, and I'm 6 years old. Back in mainland China, they told me that Black people had tails over in America. So when I migrated over, I stepped off the boat and I wanted to see if this myth was true. I wanted to see if Black people indeed had tails. Now I'm 12. And this is day 3. I've seen 7 Black people. And I must admit, I still have a tail. Could I have been deceived? Is this a myth about Black people true? Dear Wei Cheng, don't hide. As Ferrari Shaderi said, in her book, she looked at statistics quoted about African American people and discredited each and every one of them. No Black people do not have tails. No, they don't. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. My name is Dr. Kimberly Reeves. And while it may appear to you that I'm about to come and talk to you and address the issues that evolve around racism and equality, that is not my mission here today. Before I get started, can I see how
just her internet. So before she gets started, we're gonna start again. That's okay. Look at her, right back. That's how we do. Dr. Reeves. Would you like us
I believe that I'm gonna come back. Yeah,
you want us to
put
do
me,
table topics
put, let,
first?
yeah, let the next person go and then I'll go. I'm gonna try to dial in with my tablet. Hopefully it'll be better, okay?
Okay.
All right.
No problem. No problem. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to flip the script and we are going to start with table topics first. Is everybody okay with that? I know I see our table topics message. Okay. I see some hands clapping.
Table topics.
Yes, that's what we're going to do. So I am going to introduce our wonderful table topics master for this evening, Ms. Rose Iliev.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited about this. So today we are going to dive deep, and it's gonna be some thought-provoking questions. I just want to give my warning that this is very thought-provoking, and if they taught this in schools, I really don't know what would happen. So for today, I only want 4 volunteers for this. And so the volunteers are going to speak from 1 to 2 minutes on the topic I give them. And I can only have 4 today. I'm on my phone, so I really can't see who's volunteering. So can somebody blurt out who would like to volunteer so I can write you down?
King will volunteer.
Is that Mr. King?
Yes.
King, I need 3 more people.
I'll volunteer.
Who's that?
I'll volunteer.
Trivia, and then Jeremiah has his hand up.
I'll volunteer.
Jeremiah, and then who is that?
But that's a new person.
All right, hold on. Let me look at the. Okay, put your hand up in the chat if you want to volunteer. I got Mr. King. I got Jeremiah. There are 2 other people. I didn't see who they were.
I think Trivia said. Was that you, Trivia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There was 1 more person.
DeAndre has his hand up as well.
DeAndre. Okay, I didn't write this down in order, but we're gonna go with these people. I have Mr. King, I have Jeremiah, I have Trivia, and I have DeAndre. So let's start. I'm gonna start with DeAndre. DeAndre, are you there?
Hey, real quick, Rose, sorry, I forgot to let the guests know. With table topics, with the 1 to 2 minutes, how the timing will be, at the 1 minute mark, I'll shine the green light. That means you spoke enough and you can continue if you like. At the 1:30 mark, I'll shine a yellow light, and that would mean, you're getting closer. At the 2 minute mark, I'll be putting the red, and then that means you have 30 more seconds, which you can finish your thought. Sorry, I forgot to say that. All right.
Perfect. All right, DeAndre, are you ready?
Yes, Rose, I'm ready.
Perfect. I have 4 questions, so I need you to pick a number between 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
1.
Number 1. Great. So this is the topic for tonight. You have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this. Racism and casteism. Please talk about racism and casteism and their interrelationship as in the US. So casteism is like the hierarchy. Do you need me to go into detail about what that is? Like the caste system? Do you have any questions about this?
No, I have it.
Okay, so talk about racism and casteism, about how their interrelationship in the United States. You have 1 to 2 minutes.
All right, racism and casteism and their relation as it pertains to the hierarchy in the United States. Well, it's simple. Racism and casteism go hand in hand. Let's not forget that racism began between 8, I believe, European nations: the French, the Dutch, the English, the Great Britain, and 3 others that I cannot think of, but they raced here to America to acquire land in the New World, thereby obliterating the Native Americans and leveraging many of our ancestors, the Africans. Now in this process, what they did was they systemically put all of the wealth and the resources into the hands of the Europeans, only leaving us with less than 1/2 and 1% of all the wealth in this nation. And by doing that, they were able to classify themselves at a certain socioeconomic hierarchy. And this is how our entire system of capitalism was created. So that is the foundation and the origin of racism and casteism. Now we see this every single day, which is why, and this is very crucial that we're discussing this, which is why people of African descent, those of you that can hear me, which is why we have to get more ownership. I was having a conversation with a young lady talking about what could really solve many of the problems. And it's interesting that we're coming up on Juneteenth and that we just left the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing. But I was telling her that although voting, as effective as it is, it's not as effective as managing, maximizing, and taking control of the $1.3 trillion that we spend each and every year. There is so much power within that if we took complete control over it, the American economy would just crumble like a batch of cookies. And this racism and casteism thing would not be as strong or as powerful as it seems to have been for the past 4 centuries. Now, that is all I have to say about that. I would love to hear someone else's outlook and perspective, but Madam Table Topics Master, I am finished.
Thank you, Thank you, Mr. White. I was going to call you Dr. White. Thank you, Mr. White.
Do I sound like a professor?
Don't worry, I have other questions that the other 3 people are going to talk about. So I will read the quote from this book about this topic that you just discussed. This is how the quote, this is the definition in the book. Caste and race are neither synonymous nor mutually exclusive. They can and do coexist in the same culture and serve to reinforce each other. Race in the United States is the visible agent of the unseen force of caste. Caste is the bones, race, the skin. Race is what we can see, the physical traits that have been given arbitrary meaning and become shorthand for who a person is. Caste is the powerful infrastructure that holds each group in its place. Thank you very much, Mr. White. Trivia, are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Pick a number, 2, 3, or 4.
2.
2. I'm going to read the quote, and you're going to talk about this quote for 1 to 2 minutes. This is about people from Africa. This is the quote. They don't become Black until they go to America or come to the UK, she said. It is then that they become Black. This is the quote. They don't become Black until they go to America or come.
Rose, you're on mute, honey.
They don't become Black until they go to America or come to the UK, she said. It is then that they become Black.
Okay, great quote. So what I would say to that is, what determines when you become Black? What determines your Blackness? Is it the community that you're in? Is it the society that you're in? We don't know. I think that quote is a disturbing quote because I need to understand where she's coming from when she says you don't become Black until you come to America or the UK, because we're born with our Blackness. No one can take that from us. I really beg to differ with her statement because as a Black individual growing up in the United States, I didn't ask to be who I am, but I am grateful for who I am. I demonstrate who I am on a daily basis. So our opinions are one thing, but who can classify your race, your color, your denomination based off of where you come from and where you're going? I don't have anything else to add to that.
Thank you, Trivia Payne. Let me read the page about what she's talking about, because I just gave you a quote. This is what she was trying to explain. A few years ago, a Nigerian-born playwright came to a talk that I gave at the British Library in London. She was intrigued by the lecture, the idea that 6 million African Americans had to seek political asylum within the borders of their own country during the Great Migration, a history that she had not known of. She talked with me afterward and said something that I had never forgotten, and that startled me in its simplicity. You know that there are no Black people in Africa, she said. Most Americans, weaned on the myth of drawable lines between human beings, have to sit with that statement. It sounds nonsensical to our ears. Of course, there are Black people in Africa. There is a whole continent of Black people in Africa. How could anyone not see that? Africans are not Black, she said. They're Igbo and Yoruba, Iwi, Akan, and I can't say the Ndebele. They are not Black. They're just themselves. They're humans on the land. That is how they see themselves, and that is who they are. What we take as gospel and American culture is alien to them, she said. They don't become Black until they go to America or come to the UK, she said. It is then that they become Black. It was in the making of the New World that Europeans became white, Africans Black, and everyone else yellow, red, or brown. It was in the making of the New World that humans were set apart on the basis of what they looked like, identified solely in contrast to one another, and ranked to form a caste system based on a new concept called race. It was in the process of ranking that we were all cast into assigned roles to meet the needs of a larger production. None of us are ourselves. Thank you so much, Trivia Payne. Next, I have Jeremiah. Are you ready, Jeremiah?
Yes, I'm ready.
Pick a number 3 or 4.
I'm gonna go 4 just to go against the grain.
All right, let's do number 4. Number 4. This is a question. Please talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Does race exist?
This is a very interesting question. Does race exist? I would have to say yes. We make it exist as human beings because as human beings, I think it's in our genetics and growing up to point out differences. And in pointing out differences, no matter what, whether it's your religion or your skin color, you now make, sections of how you can classify individuals or things. So race does not really exist because we're all human beings. We all have 2 eyes. We all bleed. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. So we're all just human beings on this earth. But when you look around and you point out people's differences, that's how you classify their race, or you talk about or point out their differences. Back to the question that you just asked, that people from Africa don't become black until they come to America or go to the UK. It's because they don't look at themselves as a race, but they look at themselves as nations. So like she said, they look at themselves as Nigerians or Ugandans or Barbadians, people from Barbados, or Jamaicans or people from Jamaica. But that isn't, their race. That isn't classifying them as, oh, they're black. They're black. They're saying the land that they're actually coming from, or saying that a white person has to be from England or has to be from, Scotland or somewhere in Europe, where they could not be from, Australia or South America or something like that, because they may have been born there and they may be raised around a different race and identify with them, but because they're different and we point out differences, they wouldn't be considered, that race, if that makes sense. And that's all I have to say on this topic.
Thank you, Jeremiah Conway. Let me read the paragraph. We think we see race when we encounter certain physical differences among people, such as skin color, eye shape, and hair textures, thus Meadley's wrote. What we actually see are the learned social meanings, the stereotypes that have been linked to those physical features by the ideology of race and the historical legacy it has left us. And yet, observed the historian Nell Irvin Painter, Americans cling to race as the unschooled cling to superstition. Last person I have on the list is King Teasdale. Are you ready, King?
Yes.
You are number 3. This is your topic. Talk about Caucasian, the word Caucasian, as a social construct in the United States. Your word for today is Caucasian.
Caucasian as a social construct in the United States is very, very interesting. Indeed, indeed. What I would claim here is that Caucasian is what we have been taught to accept as those who have very little melanin in their skin tone. And the culture that is the social construct is constantly evolving. Unfortunately, it has evolved from a place of what is known as white supremacy. And there are theories behind that processing, which I can't think of the author's name, but there is the theory of the cradle where there was competition, and the competition for food versus the competition based on scarcity and abundance and climate. And then there is the author Francis Cress Welsing, who spoke on the Cress theory of color. The social construct manifests in such a manner to where the negative aspect is what we generally are inflicted with, which we need to shift and evolve so that that social construct can be more sociable. I am complete.
Thank you, King Teasdale. Well, let me tell you where the word Caucasian came from. The use of the term Caucasian to label people descended from Europe is a relatively new and arbitrary practice in human history. There was a German professor of medicine. His name was Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. In 1795, he studied skulls. And he coined the term Caucasian on the basis of a favorite skull of his that had come into his possession from the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. So he gave the group to which he belonged, the Europeans, the same name as the region that had produced it. So Caucasian came from a skull from a mountain in Russia. So I have never met a person from a mountain of Russia, so I cannot say I have met any Caucasians. The book is Cats by Isabel Wilkerson. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Rose, and table topics, and everybody who volunteered. You never know what you're going to get when you raise your hand to do table topics, and you all hit the mark. I've never seen it. That's not what I meant to say. I have seen it. That's all right. So let's go ahead and get into our prepared speeches of the evening. Wait, does anybody want to tell us something good? Rose, Madam Table Topics, do you have something good to tell us?
Yes, this book is mind-blowing. If you read this book, your mind's gonna be blown away, and it just makes you think about things you've never thought about before. Like, if you knew where the Nazis got their ideas, just read the book. It's awful. But just this book really opened my eyes. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I will say, literally, I'm 2 people behind in line. This book is trickling down my family. It started with my great aunt, and she literally is like, this is the family book, and I just finished it, and now I'm passing it to your mom, which is she was talking to my mom, that was my grandmother. So then next is my mom, then next is me. So I'm like, as well. I see in the chat that, what was the name of the third? Oh, sorry. Was it very hard to read?
I'll type it in. Let me type it in.
All right. The third speaker. Who was the third? What was the name of the third speaker? Jeremiah. You can't hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so now we are moving into our prepared speeches of the evening. We're going back to Dr. Kimberly Reeves so that we can hear that amazing speech.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hopefully my connection is stable now. I won't start off with the music, but hopefully you got the gist of it. All right. All based on assumption. Assuming makes, wait, can you see me? Oh, sorry, y'all. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Dear African American people, my name is Wei Chung, and I'm 6 years old. Back in mainland China, they told me that Black people had tails over in America. So when I migrated over and I stepped off the boat, I wanted to see if the myth was true. I wanted to see if Black people indeed had tails. Now I'm 12 years old. And this is the third day I've seen 7 Black people. And I must admit, I still haven't seen a tail. Could it be that I was deceived? Is this a myth about Black people? And is it true? Dear Wei Chung, don't believe the hype. As Ferrari Shadea said, in her book, she looked at statistics quoted about African American people and discredited each one of them. No, Black people don't have tails. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. My name is Dr. Kimberly Reeves, and while it may appear to you that I'm about to address the issues that evolve around race and equality, that is not why I've come before you today. Before I get started, can I see by a show of hands how many of you have made assumptions that were completely wrong? Can someone come off of mute and tell me, you have 1 minute to tell me what this experience was and how it made you feel when you found out that you were wrong? Just one person. You have 1 minute.
Me, Rose.
Yes, Rose.
We had to do something at work, and then I did it to my best of my ability, but of course I messed it all up. So then this weekend, my coworker came in and he signed in, and when I went in the range, everything was beautiful and perfect. So I'm like, oh, it must have been Eve. He took care of my problems because he knows what to do. But actually, it was the engineer that did it. The engineer sent the email out. So I just assumed based on Eve's, because he's such a good guy. So I just assumed because he wrote down, he wrote down he went in, but the other guy didn't. So you just can't assume anything.
Oh, absolutely. And please pardon my vernacular, but there's an old famous adage that says exactly what I said in the beginning. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Did you know that assumptions are 100% of the time, 100% of the time, they're incorrect? Sarah Blick wrote an article about the dangers associated with assuming. Assumptions typically lack facts, and they are more times than none based on someone's opinion, incomplete information, past experiences. Assumptions are based on things that you hear from others. Let me give you a scenario. It's initiation season at the Bay Phi Sigma fraternity. Little Billy, who just turned 20, wants to pledge, but before he can do so, he has to prove that he's built for it, that he has to show everybody that he has the mental aptitude and the endurance to join the family. His prospective frat brothers put him to the test to determine whether he was strong enough. While there were many tests to qualify him, the one test that I will focus on is character assassination. Billy's frat brothers lied on him. They sent out misleading information about him on social media. When I grew up, someone was young and uninformed and inexperienced. The old folks would say, he's still wet behind the ears. In other words, little Billy was innocent. He was still young and he had done no wrong. But all it took was one rumor and somebody's assumptions to change people's perception of him. Little Billy had gone from a sweet, innocent freshman to being classified as a school drug dealer, a thief, and a male whore. His frat brothers did anything that they could to humiliate him, and they succeeded. When Billy came in contact with ladies at his university, they would guard their purses. They would start whispering and chuckling. One woman even gave him a card for Narcotics Anonymous. She claimed that she dropped it out of her pocket. Everywhere he went, people gave him dirty looks. The way little Billy was treated by those around him was determined by what was published on social media. How many of you know somebody like little Billy? If you're an African-American person, I suppose that you've experienced this in one capacity or another, through racial profiling or societal injustices or stereotyping. I can only imagine what it was like for a college student to go through this. Now close your eyes and put yourself in little Billy's shoes. Close your eyes now. Imagine complete strangers. You're not a child, you're an adult. Imagine complete strangers grading or judging you based on what they've heard and their assumptions. Imagine them holding you responsible for something that you didn't even do, for a rumor that they heard through the grapevine. Let me give you a few more relatable scenarios. Ladies, imagine being labeled promiscuous. And as a result, men try to make sexual advances on you. Imagine someone saying that they slept with you when they have not. Now, men, imagine being labeled as a cheat. As hard as monogamy was, you've been faithfully and happily married for 12 years. Imagine a woman saying that she's having your baby and you never had sex with her. Imagine being called a liar when you are known for your truth. Now, are you listening? Imagine all of these damaging things being done to you by people you trust. Perhaps a church, a family member. Just imagine. There's an old famous adage again that says, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Word to the wise. If you have dreams of becoming a donkey, AKA ass one day, so be it. Just don't drag an innocent man like little Billy down to the desert with you. Be mindful that when you make erroneous assumptions, someone's character is on the line and you could damage someone forever. Thank you.
I see y'all clapping. I'm scared from that. Dr. Kimberly Reeves, like I said, you never disappoint. Thank you so much for that powerful speech. You got something good to tell us, Dr. Kimberly Reeves?
Oh, no.
Tell me something good. Tell me something.
Oh, I have nothing good. Praise God.
We are all alive and well, so that's good. All right. And then another thing that's good, we have another prepared speech ready for you all. Coming to you from Toastmaster John Gilmore. He is a former law enforcement officer turned real estate agent investor. After being inspired to seek higher education, he joined Toastmasters to improve and incorporate public speaking into his career. The title of his speech, Do You Know the Leader in You? This is John Gilmore.
Thank you for the intro. Everybody can hear me? Okay, so this speech is going to be more of an interactive speech. So I need everybody to pull out your chat box, pull out your phone, or get a notepad, because this speech isn't just going to be about me. It's going to be about all of us here today. Y'all ready? All right. So the title of my speech is, Do You Know the Leader in You? And the reason why I had all of you pull out your notepads is because I had to sit down to find out what type of leader I am. And I want you all to do the same. I think I'll give you a hint as to what type of leader I found out once you all go along this route with me. I'll start off by saying that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. I understood this afterwards. I understood this when that line hit me. It's, how can you know what to do? How can you know how to go through your life? If you all caught the last speech, how do you know what to do when you hit play? And that's more about learning yourself. It's more about finding out what type of leader you are. One thing I also believe is that everyone is a leader. So the reason why this title isn't how do you find out if you have a leader in you is because you have one. And we don't ask ourselves questions that we have the answer to already. So all of you have your notepads out, right? All right, so I found that there were 7 different types of leadership skills. And the first one is as we already know, the autocratic style, the do as I say, the I'm in charge, listen to what I'm saying, this is what I need today, and this is what you're going to give me. That's the autocratic style. I don't know if I give off that impression, but if there's anybody in here that gives off that, or they believe that that's them, please add it to the chat. It's okay to be that. The next style is the authoritative style. This style is the follow me. I'm going to do, follow me. You can do it as well style. And this style, if you're a lot more confident in yourself, if you feel like you have the abilities that you need to get everything right and have people follow you, then this is your style. And again, if you feel like this is you, add your name to the chat. The next style is the pace setting style. That's the do as I do. That's the, you set the bar yourself, and then you have the other people in your team follow you. Jump in, go along with you. Anybody in here feel like that's their style? You can go ahead and add it to the chat. Okay, it's a lot of pace setters in here. King, Jessica. The fourth style, the democratic style. This style is you'll come to find that your leader is asking you, what do you think? What do you think about this topic? Do you think we should incorporate this into our next meeting? Do you think that we should try this? And again, there's nothing wrong with this style, but if anybody feels like that's them, go ahead and let us know. And again, that's called the democratic style. It's incorporating other people's envisions and creativity to help the whole team grow. Style 5 is the coaching style. And this style, you're a reservoir of talent, and you're developing people that probably aren't on your level just yet. And this is you just giving people advice. Hey, I believe that this might be better if you try it this way. Have you considered this instead of that the next time you try that? If you feel like you're that coaching style, then please let us know. Okay, Angela. Okay, so now we're getting to the last 2. The next one is the affiliative style. And this style is more of the people come first. A leader practicing this style would pay attention and support the emotional needs of their teammates. They'll be the ones that stop to give out hugs or to encourage harmony, collaborate, relationships with team members, and just be more of that emotional teammate to keep everybody going forward. Is there a combo option? Great question. Let's hit this last one in. If you feel like you are more than one style, that's okay too. Try to write that down. Which ones you feel like you can. And the last one we're going to talk about is the laissez-faire style of leadership. This is the exact opposite of the autocratic style. This is the style where you just allow people to express themselves. You're not the nitpicking supervisor that wants everything where they want. If someone who's on your team that excels in one part, you literally sit back and let them do their thing and make sure everyone's there that day. This last style has a lot of downsides, but if you have a really, really good team, or if your team is full of more experienced or older people, this style might help you a lot more. So does everybody have their style?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to start talking about me now. When I went through this, and I feel like this made me a lot better speaker and everything, because again, as our style said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all the wisdom. And you can't lead anyone, or you can't teach anyone if you don't know where you are. A science teacher can't teach science if they don't know if they're a science teacher or not. So I started off with the laissez-faire leadership style. I was a part of several different teams, and I was more of the let's just wing it. I know that I trust all of you. Do your best. Let's go. And I found that that's not always the fastest way to the top unless you have the right people up front. I still use this style when I'm dealing with people that have a lot more experience. You still have to watch them, but I feel like I have this, as long as I know the ability of the people around me, you can use different styles. So to answer your question earlier, Miss Toastmaster, yes, you can be bipolar with the styles, and you should be, because you need to know who you're talking to. I believe Malcolm X once said that you can't. I'm sorry, it's not Malcolm X, but someone said you can't speak Spanish to someone who only speaks English. You can't speak one language to someone and expect them to understand it. You have to know who you're talking to, and you have to speak to that person. So one style that I started off with is the laissez-faire style. And then my coaching style came in when, again, I found out that there was people that are a little higher strung that are around me, especially coming from a very high strung profession. Some people just need a little bit of encouragement, or sometimes you just need a little bit of understanding to know what to say or how to deal with other people. So that is one of my styles as well. And then lastly, and they all kind of come together, my last style is the democratic style, which I'll end up asking a lot of people, well, what do you think? Why do you think that that's right? And I kind of got slack because I was called a therapist at one point. But I feel like this style allows you to be able to know who you're talking to and who's on your team. You can't have a team full of people that are strangers. You have to know who they are. You have to speak to them, and you have to understand them. So I found my 3 styles by going over these last 7, and I use them interchangeably, and I hope that you all have learned enough to be able to use your styles accordingly. Speak to the right people and use the right language, and find out who the leader in you is. Thank you.
All right. Great job, sir.
Great job, great job. I'm so happy to hear that I'm able to be bipolar with my leadership style. We can probably call that a quad polar. I want to get to know your people and the people on the team so that you can figure out like how you can best help them develop. So I love it. Okay, so now it's time to get into the evaluation portion of the evening, where we bring up our evaluators, and I want to bring out this is general evaluator of the evening, Miss Eva Over, and she can tell you about her role and what comes next.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, guests, and friends. The theme question, tell me something good. Well, I would like to say that this meeting is good. One thing about Morgan State Toastmasters meeting, regardless of what happens or the way it flows, it always comes together. My task this evening is to evaluate how I think the meeting went. Before I get to that, we want to evaluate our speakers. And I will start with Mr. Robert, and he will be evaluating Dr. Reeves. Am I correct? Or has that changed?
You are correct, Miss Eva.
Take it away.
Oh, listen, I'm ready. Dr. Kimberly Reeves. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, distinguished guests. All right, here we go. Listen, I just want to say, you threw me off. Hold on, I'm back. Amazing speech. I'm going to talk about just you. I'm just going to just put you on a pedestal today because you do so many things well, Dr. Kimberly Reeves. You excel in storytelling. I think the one amazing thing with a good story, there's a message, right? And it's clear and it's direct, and you were able to provide that message not once, not even twice, but 3 times. So I am now sure that I would not make a donkey out of myself by assuming it all. So that's super clear. Your vocal variety, amazing. You changed up your voice inflection several times during the speech when you were trying to distinguish between 2 characters in the beginning. Also, anytime you were trying to be impactful during the speech, you changed your voice. So I was like, is she going to do it throughout the whole speech? And you did. And I'm like, okay, that is, normally individuals do it in the beginning and then they stop, but you did it several times and it was intentional every single time. So kudos to you. I'm going to talk about your facial expressions. I know a lot of times I speak about hand gestures, but I'm talking about your facial expressions. And you were selling the story or you were emphasizing certain points with your facial expression. You were, I was crying. I'm like, you are on point with the facial expressions, and I don't think you get enough credit for that. So I want to say kudos to you. Hand gestures on point. You were clapping. One thing you did was to get our attention. You intentionally did that throughout the whole course of the speech, and I thought that was genius, to be honest with you. Incorporating facts, details, and descriptions is super important in storytelling. And I think it's mind-boggling to me how you just incorporate and you weave in and out all the time. So I'm just like, man, how do you find facts for this topic? And you do it every single time. I don't have any grows. I just wanted to continue to focus on how well you did on this speech. You had some technical issues. I don't know about you, but I am a teacher. If my computer goes off or my Zoom goes out, I'm done. It's a wrap. I'm not coming back. You came back and you bounced back. You did not let that hold you down, and you continue right where you left off, which was like, once again, I think a seasoned move. Like I didn't have to do my intro again. I'm picking up right where I left off at, and you stay calm throughout the whole speech. So for me, so many points that I could apply to my speech, but I just wanted to reemphasize There's so many good things, so many good takeaways. I don't think it was anything that you need to improve on. The only thing I would ask you to is sign up again, because every time you speak, you just be dropping the mic. So Dr. Reeves, amazing job. And I look forward to hearing you again. And that is my time.
Well, thank you, Mr. Robert, for that good evaluation. I think you hit it right on point when you said Dr. Reeves is a great storyteller. And that she is. I don't know what path she has taken, but she needs to take that for the next path. Amen. Wow. Next, we will have our president, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me on that. Who will be evaluating? Joseph will be evaluating John. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. We have these swift changes, but that's fine. Joseph, are you ready to come off of mic? Take it away.
Good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, guests and friends. I will be evaluating John this evening. I did not know I'll be evaluating John, so I did not. I don't have my sheet, but I listened to his speech, so I'll go from what I remember. John, your speech was very educational. It was like you were teaching us something that you yourself had learned. I took notes during your speech, and it was interesting for me to learn about the different leadership styles. When it came to your eye contact, you made clear eye contact with your audience. You used your voice well. You were calm, and you slowed down, and you let us follow you through the speech. So it was easy. It was easy to follow you. I thought it was a great speech. That's all I have for now. I would fill out the sheet and send it to you.
Oh, thank you, Joseph.
Miss Eva. I'm sorry. Maybe I apologize, y'all. Maybe I mixed it up. John, you're not the evaluator, sir. King, can you please come forth and speak?
Hold on a second. Can you just clap it up for Joseph real quick, though?
Yes, thank you so much for stepping in, Joseph. I just happened to see his face pop up. I do apologize. So, King, come on with
it. Okay, we want to do this. All right. So thank you so much, Joseph. My apologies. I am just adding the spotlights, and it was wrong.
That's okay.
No problem.
That was a wonderful evaluation.
It was.
Yes, thank you.
It was. I appreciate it. It was so good in the way I don't even need to say anything. Thank you very much. Good night.
You don't want to add anything, Mr. King?
Well, let me step into this role. Okay, John. Here we go. The purpose of this is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership skills and styles. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. I think you hit the nail on the head. I congratulate you on that. I think that's what you excelled in here. The information that you have given us will allow us to move forward in what is necessary to become leaders as well, because I had no idea that there was actually 7 styles, but I'm glad you helped me find the one in which I can move forward in, and I can mix it up if I so choose. Thank you for that. I believe that it was very informational, and I think that was key. I appreciate it. I would say, if one would say that what you may want to work on is flow. That's my personal opinion. Even though it went well, I have to admit, I appreciated the way in which it was handled and the way in which you move forward with it. Your spoken language is very clear and easy to understand. Your vocal variety, I think, could use some improvement. I see it emerging. The eye contact, I don't necessarily see it as applicable here because we're on Zoom. Um, your physical gestures, I see that developing. The audience awareness, I loved it. You had us engaged in such a way to where we were on top of it because you made it happen. And your comfort level, I think you're at a 3 there. I think you'll accomplish that because I've seen you speak before and I've seen it a little more improved with other speeches you've given than today. But as far as the interest is concerned, you really engaged us, and I really appreciate that. Um, Sharing some aspect of your leadership style and the impact it had on you, I think you brought that crisp and strong. I give you like a 100 on that. So if anything, I would say practice makes perfect. Uh, that's all I got. Because if I don't stop here, ain't no telling where I go. But thank you, John. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
King, thank you to both of our evaluators. And the purpose of being evaluated is to help us grow and flow, which is our thing. Just flow right on through it, John. You did really good. And I really enjoyed when you said everyone is a leader. Whether you think you're a leader or not, you are a leader. Even if it's small, it'll start growing. Thank you so much. We will have our timer, and our timer is Miss Angela. Angela, are you ready? Give the time.
I'm actually the odd counter. Mr. Olio is the timer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Angela will do the odd count, and we're Marion at this time.
Okay. Again, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm going to start with all of the table topics, speakers. And we start with Mr. DeAndre. I did not catch anything as far as the grammar, only was alrighty. That was the one word. For Jeremiah, your filler word was and so. Mr. King, the first time you spoke was fine, but when you came back with the evaluation, I caught 4 ums. Other than that, it was fine. Miss Trivia, 2 so's. Mr. Joseph, again, I applaud you for stepping up. That was great. I do want to point out you had 2 ums and 1 ah. Then we're going to say Miss Rose as the table topic master. You had a repeated word about this. And you said the last person on the list is, but you said it in the wrong tense. So I didn't write down exactly, but it should be that the last person on the list is. You said something else, so I can't remember exactly what that was. I'm sorry, I said myself. Next, we have Miss Natasha. I caught 1 so, 1 and 2 ums. And another phrase you used a lot was alrighty. Mr. Olio, 1 so, 1 and again, you also was all right. Dr. Rees, I didn't catch anything except for when you were preparing to get ready and then you had to jump back off. You said a couple times but I think it's because of the distraction of you on and off. Other than that, it was great. John. I didn't catch, let me see, John. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. John, your filler word. You said that several times. So is another filler word. And filler words. Also, you were saying to instead of to, or the. You all, you said that a few times, you all. And we also, I saw that you said cuz instead of because. And you said they told me instead of they. And the last sentence said, find out who the leader in you is. You may want to rephrase that. Just say, find out who the leader in you, or what is the leader in you. You want to rephrase that. I think I have everybody. I don't know if I said Miss Trivia, but Miss Trivia, 2 souls. I'm just trying to go down my list. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Miss Eva, I did catch one, just one. And it was probably a very small but just one. Mr. Robert Tyree, I think I got you already. Well, your crutch word again is and That is my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela. Great job. And if you notice, I put in the chat the R counter log. We all can get this from the Toastmasters. It will help us even when we're practicing at home, and we can check off for ourselves because all of us do use crutch words. It's just in our dialogue when we speak and we don't really think about it. I look at TV and I see some of the best ones giving speeches and I'm counting the ums and ahs, and my husband will look at me and say, you're not in Toastmasters. I say, well, so what? It's just in me to count and say, look how they speak. But if you get this sheet, just go on and find this sheet, or we can send it out to you and you can just practice. All righty, next we will have Mr. Olio, which is our timer. Olio, are you ready?
Absolutely, absolutely. Such a Titanic
evening.
On
vacation now. Okay.
Yes, I was enjoying this Titanic evening, and I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and give you your times for today. All right. So for the speakers, DeAndre, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. You were in range. Trivia, 1 minute, 12 seconds. You did that. You're in range. Jeremiah, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. King, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. All of you stayed in timetable topics. Give it up to yourselves. Kudos. We had now for Rose, I didn't get your exact time, was a little bit over. Dr. Reeves, 8 minutes and 7 seconds in your time. John Gilmore, 8 minutes, 56 seconds. You went a little bit over. Robert Tyree, 3 minutes and 21 seconds. King, 3 minutes. And Angela, it was 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So that is my time for today. Just a couple of overs. Everybody else in range. I mean, we got room for growth. Everybody, if you like doing this timer, if you see what I'm doing at the end of the meeting, feel free to come and do the timer. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you, Mr. Olio. Now it's my time to evaluate how the meeting went tonight. First of all, we did start on time, 7 o'clock. And that's always a good thing because we want to make sure that everything that we have, everybody gets in to do what they have to do. Our Toastmaster, well, the president, that's one thing about this club I can honestly say, regardless of what the agendas say, we're always looking for people. And I love the way that people stepped up to the plate and filled right in. Angela filled in, King, thanks to Kelly and all of our guests. In the near future, if you need to say something once we're in the meeting, I would appreciate if you would put it in the chat. For example, if you're having problems with your communication or your system and it's not working, kind of, put it in the chat and we can move right along. Make sure your connections are working. Try to make sure your connections are working before you speak. I always say Russia some kind of way interferes when it comes to certain things not working, because it happened to me in one of our meetings. My mic went out 4 times and I never touched the mouse. So I knew it was Russia. So I'm not going to worry myself about that too much. Rose, you brought the energy. When you flipped the script, you brought the energy with your table topics. That subject is very, very deep. Racism, ever-isms is very deep to a lot of us, especially, I don't know about nobody else, but to me. I like the way Olio came back and finished up and told them how much time they had left. Rose, you gave us a educational corner. I think one thing you could have done a little better, Rose, was just give tidbits of the definition. You don't want to prolong in that table topics, because most of the things, the table topics is on that person that's speaking at that time. Although you gave it, and I would love to see you do that again as a speech, maybe a Q&A speech. I would love to see you work that into a Q&A speech. Okay. And another thing, Rose, you looked away to the side. You didn't give us your whole facial. You're doing, and I know it's hard sometimes when we are Zooming to look directly into the camera. You don't have to do like this, but just give us that visual, like you have something on and you have to look focused. Other than that, I love that topic, like I said. And I think overall, we had an excellent meeting. We never really dropped the mic at all. I love the way our president came right on in, flipped it, took the table topics, and the speakers had enough time to get their stuff together. And they came with not one drop the mic speech, but 2 drop the mic speech. Let us continue to be leaders, like John said, and your leader within. Thank you, and I turn it back over to our table topics update.
All right. And I put this in the chat, flexibility. I'm grateful for you all. Grateful for the flexibility of the guests who are like, what, this agenda? Let me just rip it up and just see what they're doing in here tonight. Oh, okay, so thank you so much. It was amazing. And I do say already a lot. I do. I like it. That's my word. This meeting was great. I'm so happy that so many of you all joined us. I love to see visitors, and we have someone who is going to address you all, our Vice President of Membership, Mrs. Trivia Payne. Ms. Payne, you there?
I'm here. I'm figuring out this phone. I'm sorry. So welcome to all of our guests. We have so many guests on here. And I just want to take time to welcome you, give you an opportunity to come off mute, introduce yourself. Let us know who invited you.
Okay, I'll go first. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Hi, it's great to meet you all, and you all did a really great job tonight, and thanks for having me. I've been meaning to come to one of these for a long time, and I'm still getting the emails, and I just finally found the time to do so. I've been trying to work on my public speaking skills. I think right now, as I'm talking, my heart is racing, and I'm really trying to work on those skills. So I heard Toastmasters is a great way to do that. So I looked it up, and you guys are within my availability. So here I am, and I'm excited to learn more and to attend more and to grow. So thanks for having me.
Welcome, Jessica. Anyone else? And even if you are a Toastmaster member and you just haven't been here in the past 30 days, we welcome you to come off of mute. Okay, so if there are no others,
well, I'll shout out real quick. I know I've been missing in action. There's so much been going on, but tonight was Titanic. I tell you, I really, really enjoyed what was going down here, and it just kind of drew me in because I know that it's necessary for me to step it up in the world, world stage arena, and I need to come back up in here and do some things for really dope. So I just wanted to go ahead and do that. True that. Much love. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So if there's no one else that would like to come off of mute, we will have a breakout room for anyone who's interested in getting more information or even becoming a member. Turn it back over to Madam President.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you for those that came off mute. Jessica, thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm not going to call out all of our guests, but thank you all for being here. And thank you, King. I'm so happy to see your smiling face. Get you talking on the Toastmasters mic. Hope to hear a speech from you soon. And now we are going to our education corner with our VP of Education, Mr. Robert Tyree.
All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Uh-oh, that's not right, hold on. It is I, Mr. Tyree. I'm the VP of Education. This might be my last time because I don't teach tomorrow at all. So I do, but it's the last day. So this is the last time I'm gonna say for 2 months. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. I want y'all to follow the link. That sounded pretty good. Come on, yeah, listen, you clap because you know. Listen. I'm having trouble getting this link in the chat. Come on, hold on. Oh, Lord, help me, Lord. What's going on? Maybe not, hold on, y'all. I got a MacBook, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing with it. Let's see if I can. We're gonna try it one more time. Let's see. Paste and go. All right, we in it. All right, fingers crossed. I think I got it. Oh, I did. Okay. The link's in the chat. Here we go. Yeah, I found this website earlier this morning, right? That has some amazing facts. I'm gonna scroll all the way down to I'm gonna call it today. It's gonna be called the 5 P's. The 5 P's. What are the 5 P's? I'm gonna tell you. Projection, pace, pitch, pronunciation, and pause. I'm gonna start at the top. It speaks about projection, right? Just some tips for improving your public speaking. There's a couple that's on this page. I believe it's about 9. But I find 5 P's. I like words that sound the same with the same sound. So projection, right? Just making sure that the people in the back of the room that can hear you, but just online, right? Just making sure that you're able to, we're able to hear you clearly and loud, right? Pacing, I know pacing is super important. Knowing your time frame and making sure that you're able to clearly get to all your points is super important. So making sure that you practice your pacing is important for you to be an A1 speaker, right? Your pitch, your sound. Dr. Reeves did an amazing job changing her pitch and her voice. Once again, kudos, because I love when individuals tell a story and change to a character, such as myself. making sure that you enunciate your words or pronounce your words and do not mumble. Speak clearly, speak slow, and that's also involving pause. Don't say no or ah or any of the filler words. If you're going to say that in your speech, just pause and take a moment. It's okay. Another thing I thought that was amazing in this article was they speak about overcoming your fear. And the biggest thing for me, the best way to overcome your fear is just speak. Another one that they speak about also is, what was the last? Embracing the challenge of speaking. So that at the very bottom, just do it, y'all. I think the best way, once again, to become a effective speaker is to speak every single day and to join Toastmasters. So if you're not a part of Toastmasters, this is one of the, not even one, this is the best club, period. There's no one like Toastmasters at Morgan State University, MSU. So if you are looking for a home, if you're looking for opportunities, if you're looking for mentorship, if you're looking for a family, if you're just looking for ways to improve your public speaking and you're looking for individuals who care about your process and path, look no further. We have an amazing team, and even better, we actually have a new crew coming in at the end of this month. And there are individuals that are in the room right now. So I know Miss Madam President will be speaking about it, I'm assuming later on after I get done, but this is the place. Don't go nowhere else. It's time now. So we'll have a breakout room after I speak. I'm going to ask you to go there and have a conversation with our VP of membership, Ms. Trivia, again, and she will show you the proper way to sign up. And I look forward to seeing all you guys back next Monday. Madam President, the floor is all yours. I should do commercials. I'm just saying, you know.
All right. Thank you for passing it on to me. And what I dropped in the chat is actually the nomination form. So elections are next Monday. So all members who are in the place to be on next Monday will be able to vote for our next executive leadership board. All right. So bittersweet that is going to be, that this is the last month that I will be your president, but it has been an amazing, transformative journey, and I'm excited to see where we are going next. So if you are a paid member, if you could click on that link and drop some nominations. The president role is the only role that needs to be filled. But just think, if you choose presidents from somebody who's an officer, that role will have to be filled as well. So I know I saw some nominations where it wasn't like they just maybe voted for one thing, but that person's role would need to be filled. So we would need somebody there. So we could just go on there, type a little thing, and maybe even put your name. You never know. And we will do our elections on next Monday. And the membership inquiry room will be open in a moment, and you'll see a little blue box that says breakout rooms have been open, you should see. And you can just hop on in there, and our vice president of membership will be there. I'm trying to put her in there now. And also Miss Eva will talk about how, her treasurer corner, how much it will be for you to join our club this month.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time of the meeting, my name changes to Miss Red Bottoms. For those of you who do not know that, I deal with collecting the dues. If you are interested in becoming a member of this fine club, the fee is $15, $20 for new members, plus $5, which is a total of $40. Keep in mind that will only carry you until September. Come October, everybody has to renew. Total of $50, $45, for the club, $5 for our club dues. Looking for new members, like she said, and also we're looking for new people to take on the roles. If you have been with us for the last year, and most of you have because we have been in the pandemic, this is a great time for you to enhance your resume, enhance your communication skills, enhance anything that you want to use Toastmasters for as far as communicating your job, your life, anything, your business. For me, it was my church. My husband, out there, and I was like, I'm a behind the scenes person. That's why I came to Toastmasters, get the pastor, and he put me in the forefront. And I became so good that every Mother's Day, I used to give, I'm not going to say a sermon, a message. I would speak for the church. And I feel pretty good because now my butterflies are flying around me and not in my gut. Never think that you cannot do it. If you're interested in being a treasurer and helping me out, if you're a paid member, let me know. Or if you're new and you're a guest, if you're not sure yet, keep on coming back. We invite you to come back, enjoy taking table topics, doing that. And if you need to speak to me, I can put my email in the chat. Thank you so much.
All right, all right. What are we at next? We are at the end. So if anybody is interested in taking on a role for next week, then this is the opportunity for that. But if you're interested in membership, then you can slide on into the breakout room with Miss Trivia Payne. I believe she is already in there. She is. And she is waiting in case anyone is interested. We're going to say bye to our friends on YouTube. Thank you for watching. If you're watching the replay, hey, you missed it, but thank you for watching.